Good evening, everybody. How's it going? It's me, Comic Crack. It's Saturday, and we're going to do the weekly wrap. There's no chat tomorrow, Sunday. Don't have the time. Ross is camping. Damien's not around either. So no chat on Sunday. So I'm just going to do the few things that I've read. I picked up a couple of books today at Red River, so I'll show you those as well too. Talk a little bit about what I've read this week, which isn't very much. Maybe we'll start with these ones here. So the hunt for Mackenzie Queen continues. First Saturday of every month, Red River Bookshop. You can go upstairs and dig through the bins there. I was hoping I would find some. No luck. This is one that I got from the Lone Star Comics order. I may have just made another order to Lone Star late last week, possibly. If you question me about it any further, I will deny it. So, Matrix Graphics, Mackenzie Queen, Bernie Moreau, early stuff. I can't remember the backstory in the write-up here. I feel like this is... So when was this put out? It looks like 1985, and I want to say, hello, Colin. How you doing, man? I want to say that what's collected in here is previous to that. Such a Lemire vibe to that face there. It's insane. So I think this first page, even looking at it again, I thought so when I first read it, but having a look at it again, just crazy. I think this front piece here is newer. And then the rest of the book is kind of early stuff. So the first in this Mackenzie, oh yeah, there you go. Look at that, 1983 for this. I think I liked it. I can't remember anything about it right now. I dig some of the art. Sitrat, if you're watching, there's a real you vibe to some of this with the art that that you've shown on your channels. There's a little bit that feels like that here. I mean, some nice looking pages, but fucked if I can remember what the hell happened in this book. I think it was one that I was reading lying in bed. I mean, the great looking pages, going back and seeing everything again. It's really nice stuff. And I mean, I think the thing again that is impressive to me is just the kind of the bold layouts. The every panel seems huge. I don't know. There's just a scope to it that I really dig with this stuff. So I think I liked it. Whatever the case, I'm going to keep my eyes open for the rest. And I may wait until I find all the issues now so I can read the whole thing at once. But I had to dip into it to check it out. So solid stuff. So on to this one, which kind of ended up surprising me quite a bit, if I'm honest. So this is Bloodlines, AFPC. How are you doing? And the first 6 issues, I think there was only 7. By the time I got to kind of issue 3, I was really digging it. And by the end, I find myself like, I kind of wish that this thing went on like 10 or 12 issues. You really start to get into the world here and you get into the characters. Scott Connor, how you doing? It sort of has this what am I trying to say here? It has this almost kind of sci-fi aspect to it. It has this very kind of political aspect to it. And then it also has this very cartoony portion to it as well. Let's see if I can quickly find a sample here. So all throughout, there's these little creatures that are around and interact in a small way with the characters in the book. Here we're being visited by an angel. The kids are being visited by an angel. There's a lot of mystery in this as to who's fighting on kind of the side of good, who's fighting on bad, how much are these people actually in control of what's going on around them. They're picking people for this war that's coming. What is the purpose of that? There's very religious undertones or overtones because it's not exactly subtle by any stretch. There's a lot of that going on, and then there's some just violence. The one thing that keeps happening, which I've grown to sort of appreciate, is this repetition, like I talked about before. Look at this. That's my new avatar on the Twitter. There's this real, like I said before, there's this real repetition of dialogue here. Every time someone new comes into the space, they say that they have the same dialogue. So I feel like it's a little bit of a page filler. So this one really started peaking for me, issue 3. And then when I got to issue 5, I was kind of, to be honest, I was kind of fucking blown away by this issue. We'll do a flip through here. I'm pretty sure this is the issue. Again, Transit, love seeing those ads. So we're off in some sort of dreamlike fantasy imagination. I don't know exactly where this is coming from. And sometimes that kind of mystery with this book, it's fun sometimes, but I do have to admit that I do find it a little frustrating. I feel like the story is just being held back because that's what they feel like mystery is, just kind of dragging things out. And honestly, there was a couple of times too, just going to get the bad things out of the way. There was quite a few times where I did have a problem keeping track of who was who and really getting confused sometimes with the characters. But anyway, back to this particular issue that kind of impressed me. And I mean, hopefully you're seeing that throughout. I mean, this entire issue is just it's almost like a black and white version of the classic Underground book there, Light. I mean, it's really a bold move, I gotta say, for this little title on Blackburn, or has it transitioned at this point? Yeah, no, it's Vortex at this point. I'm digging it, Tag. I'm really, I loved this issue. I just really think like this is a really ballsy fucking move on behalf of some black and white indie. I can't imagine people were impressed when this came out, but I love it. I really love it. I thought it was a nice issue and a real interesting departure. And again, it's one of those markers of if this series would have went to maybe 12 issues, where they could have gone with stuff. So yeah, that's that one. So I dig it. I'm hopeful I can find the final issue. I'm really hopeful that I can find the final issue because I want to see where it goes for that one. Oops, sorry. I don't know if it comes to a natural conclusion or if it was one of those getting set up for the 8th issue and then that 8th issue never came. So these last 3 that I read tonight are from some books that I picked up today at Red River. A real kind of oddity, another one that's just on my phone list, this Kyra from Elsewhere Productions, issue number 4 on this one. this one has some interesting things going on. It's sort of like a Jungle Girl book, but there's some, I don't know, there's some magic going on. There's some monsters in this as well. There's our main heroine who's kind of protecting this city, this muscle babe. I kind of liked it, to be honest. It was pretty silly. There's a real anime feel, or manga feel rather, to some of the facial features here. Again, I like the pages and things here. Some really nice art throughout it. I really like these two strips here quite a bit as she's trying to materialize another little a little demon or monster of some kind. So a pretty fun one. Oh yeah, and then this robot chick here too, who at the beginning of our fight rips off her clothes, tears out her hair. Yeah, hey, only the first two. I was surprised when I looked on my comic shop at how many issues of this that there was, let alone, you know, finding issue number 4. So there we go. This is, and it definitely has a fetish feel to it, because then on the back we get our muscly babe posing on the back cover. So this really has kind of like this it's for dudes who love big strong women that are going to crush them, you know what I mean? It's like that gigantism where these guys have they get off on giant women stepping on them and stuff like this. So this has that kind of sense to it. Poses like that. Some more of that manga feel there. Fun one. Yeah, it was fun. I'll be keeping my eyes open for that. And then the puzzlement of the week, and I'm glad that you're here, AFPC, and I'm glad that you're here, Colin, because I'm looking to you guys for help on this one. 2 issues of a book, No Such Thing as Monsters, from Chorus Comics that lasted, I think, 6 issues. This is a real fucking strange one, man. I don't know what to make of this at all. It feels almost like a put on. It feels like it's something that goes along with some performance artists or something, or I feel like this is attached to some avant-garde musicians. All of those things. It just really, it's a strange one. So it's a running series. I thought it was going to be kind of an anthology, horror anthology, but this has a feel of an underground comic. It's oversized. 1986. It's New York is where this company is based out of. I did a look, and of course I can't find anything else or any information on them. It's a continuing story about these kids, and their town is overrun by these monsters. This one that we have that we're dealing with in this story came from a bottle of wart away cream, and we find out its origin is kind of related to the people that he's saying are his mommy and daddy, and they're actually brother and sister. And then there's that kind of going on. So the monsters, nobody, you know, the usual, the parents don't see them. This one literally transforms himself when there's an adult around to make himself unrecognizable. This is pretty good here as he was pressing his face against the window. I love that part of his face looks like it's pulling away from the glass there. And I mean, look at this. And that background, I'm not sure what that background is, but I like to think it's like a microscopic view of like some insect or something, you know, filling up that background. So the story itself is just so. It's fine. It's just such an oddity, because then we come across, here we go. So once that kind of chapter is over, we get stuff like this. So a 1-page Beef Stench in the Fog Shrouded Morning by somebody named Andy Somma, Somma. this kind of abstract comic page. And then the guy that really twisted my brain here is Daniel Loker, doing a pinup here, which is fucking outstanding. And I'll show you when we look through the second issue, he actually gets a 4-page story in the second one. But this is unbelievable. This stopped me dead in my tracks, this page. And I looked up his name as well, and nothing to be found. But give me a full issue of Daniel telling us a story. I'm down. Bring that shit on. So then we get another story kind of involving our kids again. So almost kind of Paper Girls-ish. The kids in the town kind of trying to solve the mysteries and find out what the hell is going on. And then they just meet different people in the town. And like I said, those stories are just all right. So then we get stuff like this. Harry Kipper is now in Los Angeles. There's an ad for a Ken Landgraf studio comic art workshop here. But I mean, Harry Kipper is now in Los Angeles. That's great. And that's Harry Kipper's art there. And then, yeah, the Harry Kipper strip, 1-page strip here. Yeah, 86, I believe is what I said. Yeah, October 1986. Chorus Comics publisher Gary Voodoo. Yeah, New York, 1986. All contents. Stephen Holman is the one who does the main story here. And then let's flip to the back here. There's just another story. And then we get a kind of shift again. We're getting some more ads for something called Bad Music Video. The worst music videos are on MCTV Channel C, Wednesdays at 9 p.m. with your hosts, Karen Finley and Carlo McCormick. Gates of Dawn, New York Film Festival, Downtown 3. Like, it's really a mystery to me who is responsible for this book, but I really, really dig it. And then we get a complete shift in style here. And this is a continuing story as well to Rosemary's Dinner, from what I gather from reading this just a couple of pages here. Yeah, the ads are amazing. And then they also had this posters. The horrifying cover of this issue is now available as a black and red 10 by 15 poster, 10-inch by 15-inch poster. $1.50. And then just a kind of an ad for the next issue, which is the Christmas special, which we'll look at here in a second. But in the meantime, we'll have a look at the last couple of pinups here. I mean, such underground vibes, such Rory Hayes underground absurdity here. And then we get this, so an ad for a comic shop, but coming to your town soon, the Torture Chorus show, hosted by the world's sleaziest MC and featuring giant fleas, moldy donuts, fat men, beautiful girls, a stage and screen extravaganza. So I really feel like this is some New York art film collective or something that is putting this together. St. Mark's Comics ad on the back in the East Village. So then we get into issue number 4 here. $2 when it was coming out. We won't look too much at these stories, but again, our Gary Voodoo intro here, December 1986. This is kind of mostly takes place in this nightmare. One of our kids is having this first story anyway. Some cool stuff going on here for sure. Feels like a real throwback to kind of the giant monster Marvel comics there. Let's see. Let's skip ahead here. Yeah, this was kind of fun actually too. Sort of cut and paste, making up a newspaper, having our panel here, Monster Loose in Oakville, But then other headlines: swindling widow guilty of murder of death case. Reagan corruption status report with Trout return. Arms packed and rights. Sneeze slow. Door rescue could be 500. Fish talks say almost 100 children. Love that one. Sorry here. A little bit of dead space here while I flip forward. No such thing as letters. Encouraging you to write in an ad for Incredibly Strange Films. I've got that. It is a classic, the Canadian mask on the front there. Search and Destroy, early punk history ad here. We get another Rosemary's Dinner, this time Rosemary's Xmas Dinner. Let's get to Daniel's here. Purple Jesus is coming. Eat Them by Nakas. And then here we go. So this is Homecoming. Story and art by Daniel Locher again. And this is starring, our main character in here is a gentleman that goes by the name of Clive Barker. And we start with seeing him kind of in this skeletal form there. And we get a bit of the backstory that he was singing Christmas carols, had basically an itch on his head, and found that his scalp, his skin and his hair pulled away from his scalp. So he has this condition that's never really explained, where his skin is peeling from his body. At the even putting on clothes is causing his skin to peel away. So he, of course, ends up living on the streets because he's so horrified. And we get this beautiful page here with the skeletal form, kind of looks like a clump of flesh in his hand there. And he decides to eventually come home. Daddy's home. Daddy's home for Christmas. Look at these goddamn faces. Like, this is unbelievable. I really, really want to find... I don't know how the fuck I'm going to do it. This is probably everything that this Daniel put out, but I am so taken with this shit. This is amazing. So yeah, a very, very bizarre find. And then we get this here. Torture Chorus presents Beyond the Valley of the Doors of Perception, with an ad. And then again, we get our Torture Chorus show again. So yeah, I don't know. Russ, are you out there in the replay? Do you know anything about this? Anybody with some info on that, I would love, because I need the backstory. I need the story on how the fuck these things come into existence. So that's all that I read. And the last couple of things that I picked up from Red River, I put a couple of them away. I found a couple of more issues of Puma Blues. And then these are the last few things that I found. Purgatory USA from Slave Labor, with a Jaime and Beto Hernandez cover here from 1987 is what it's dated. I was hoping that maybe they appeared inside as well too, but it looks like they were just paid to do the covers, or do the cover rather. Special thanks to Gilbert and Jaime Hernandez for being really fucking cool. And this is 1989. Oh, hey, look at that. Published bi-monthly with Slave Labor. We got Story and Art, 1989, Ed Brubaker. See, look at this. I haven't even looked through this yet, so I missed that. Well, what do you know about that, hey? Some early Ed Brubaker here. So that intrigues me. That'll be next on the reading list tonight. Then we'll see what this is like. A young Mr. Brubaker. So yeah, that'll be interesting. And You guys have been saying it, and you've been saying it, and you've been saying it. I do listen to you. This is proof that I do listen to you. I only found 4 issues, but 4 issues of the infamous Ragmop. So 1, 2, 4, and 7. And this is from, what the hell was the company again? Planet Lucy Press. They had, he had 1 or 2 issues. Was it an Image run as well too? So I mean, I don't think I need to. Yeah, there you go. I listen to you guys. I just don't always find them right away. This took going upstairs at Red River Books because he didn't have anything on the main floor. So there you go. So tell me about the Image one then, because there was another one. He had an Image. Okay, before it went to Image. So this basically continues at Image Comics. Hey, is that what that means? A Brief History of Crime. So yeah, I'm looking forward to digging into these. 95. Planet Lucy Press, an imprint of Big Bang Inc., Toronto, Ontario. Blah, 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 and bling, bling, bling. So there you go, fellas. Your prayers have been answered. Yes, okay, thanks, AFPC, yeah. So maybe I should have grabbed those. Those 2, the Image ones he did have on the main floor, so I can go back and snatch those up next time I'm around. Yeah, I mean, it looks good, you know. I haven't had a good flip through everything, but again, I trust your judgment. He had 2 copies of this issue, surprisingly. And then finally, issue number 7. That's it, folks. Thanks for hanging out. Yeah, so we'll see you next weekend. I should be okay to do the show next Sunday, but in case, for those of you just coming in, there's no hangout tomorrow afternoon. All of us are busy. We just can't make it work this week. So we're taking the week off. Next week, we should all be back, I'm hoping. Yeah, and that's it. Cool. Thanks, everybody.